Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Do Ministry Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about the Path of Exile Incursion League mechanic, or more popular known as the Temple. When you're mapping, you're going to come across Alva, who is the primary NPC for the mechanic, and she's going to ask you to go on an incursion, which is sort of a little side area that you zone into and kill a bunch of monsters. But when you click on her, the temple map is actually going to show up first. And in my case, I've clicked on her second time now, so I'm actually going to have to click View Temple. The other option is, like I say, Enter Incursion, which is the actual sort of side mechanic that you'll be doing while you're mapping. But let's have a look at the temple first. This is the map that you're going to see, the screen that you're going to see when you click on her the first time. And she's going to talk about something about the past and the future and all this stuff. It can get pretty confusing, but just ignore all that unless you're really into the lore, then kind of get into it. But if you just ignore all that, I'll simplify it for you here. This is a map of the temple, and in the corner is the incursion. So the idea is you're going to have 12 incursions. I have 12 remaining here to build this temple in the way that you want. And then when you're done all 12, you run the temple as a map and you get all of the rewards that you have quote unquote built. And so, as you can see here, the map is kind of like a pyramid. It's got different rooms with lines connecting the rooms. And the what you can do in an incursion is this particular incursion is for this particular room, which is the royal meeting room. And so, for each time you click on Alva or go into an incursion, you can upgrade or you can work on one room in this whole temple. And in this particular incursion, it is the royal meeting room that I'm in, and I've got, first I'll just kind of make note of these two options in the incursion here. The right one is, with this little symbol, is upgrade the room, and the left one is convert the room to something different. And so each room can have up to 3 different levels. So currently all my rooms are level 1 or unexplored. And you can upgrade these rooms to level 2 and level 3. And as you can imagine, at level 3, they're pretty powerful, and some of the rewards are pretty insane. But for each room, each different type of room will have a different type of reward associated with it. So I'm in the royal meeting room right now, and it tells me that if I upgrade the room, I can increase the number of magic monsters throughout the temple, or I can switch the room to this royal architect room, or sorry, pools of restoration, which heals monsters in the temple. And as you can see, neither one of these seems that favorable, but each one of these rooms is designed so that, you know, it's when you get to level 3 that you get the really strong reward, but as you upgrade it, you know, you kind of make the temple a little bit harder. So I'm just going to show you when I go into the incursion. I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to upgrade. Each one of these icons there's like a little mini boss inside this map, and depending on which one you kill will be the option that you selected. So I'm going to go in, when I show you, I'm going to go in and upgrade this room. Now, before I do that, there's one more thing I want to mention, which is all of these circles on the side of the map. And these are the connections to the other rooms. So as you can see, this room has 6 because in the map, it's surrounded by 6 rooms. And the reason why this one is green is because it's already connected to passageways. But all the other ones are red because I have no connection to any of the other rooms. So what you're trying to do is build the connections from the entrance so that you can access all of the rooms that you want to access in the temple. Or also at the apex is the boss of the temple, which also has its own kind of drops, which I'll describe later in the video. So in the incursion itself, you can drop these items called Stone of Passage, which allows you to unlock one of these passageways to connect the room. So basically, when you go into each of these incursions, you just need to do a little bit of upfront planning. You think to yourself, okay, do I want to upgrade this room or change it to something else because I don't like this type of room? In my case, I'm just going to show you the upgrade. And then the next thing before you go into incursion is figure out, okay, if I drop a Stone of Passage, usually it drops at least 1, sometimes 2, okay? 1 to 2 stones. If it drops a Stone of Passage, which room do I want to connect it to? In my case, I want to make sure I'm connected to the entrance so that I can actually visit all these other rooms when the temple is built. So now I'm going to go into the incursion and show you what an actual incursion is all about. So now I'm going to enter this Incursion Royal Meeting Room. I just hit enter. She'll open up a portal to the side room. And there's a couple things you'll notice. There's a little timer here, 10 seconds. It goes down, obviously, but when you kill monsters, it will go back up. And so I'm doing that. So the timer goes up now 19 seconds. This is the mini boss here for the upgrade. On the right side, there was an icon on the map here. I've killed it. So now this particular room is going to be upgraded. I don't have a Stone of Passage yet, so I need to go get that by killing more monsters. It's a random drop, and hopefully I don't run out of time here. But let me just kill all these monsters here. If you had selected change room, it'll be the boss on this left side. But okay, so here's the Stone of Passage that I've selected. I've got 3 seconds to get to the other side, and I'm probably not going to make it.
Good job.
Unfortunately, I didn't make it, so it's an example in itself. When I click back on Alva to view the temple, you can see I did the Hall of the Lords. I upgraded the room, but I actually did not open the door to the entrance, so now the line is not connected. Had I opened that door, I would have connected this line. All of these rooms would have lit up, and you can see how that all works. All right, so I'm just going to show you one more time an example of an incursion. So this is the second incursion I've encountered now. This one is for the storage room to the right here. Again, I can either upgrade it to warehouses, which is a room full of items, or the lightning workshop, which is change the room. And you can see there's 3 potential connections here, and one of them is not connected yet. So if I get that Stone of Passage, I'll probably just hit this up, even if I don't really need to get to that room. You can see here 11 incursion remaining because I did 1 already. And after you've done 12, the final temple will be completed and you run the temple as a map. All right, so I've completed all 12 of my incursions now, and you can see that this is my final temple, the temple that I'll be running as a map now and getting all the rewards from. As you can see, almost all of the rooms are connected now, so I can access basically everything except for this jewelry forge. I left that unconnected on purpose, and if you don't connect it by a Stone of Passage, you can't get to it by normal means. However, I also have this level 3 room here, which contains explosive charges. So when I run the map, I can actually go to this room, grab an explosive charge, and come back to the jewelry forge side and actually break down the door connecting one of these other rooms to the jewelry forge and access it that way. I'm probably not going to show it. I have no interest in getting to this room. But if there was a very important room that you haven't connected yet, that is one way you can get to it after the fact. Now you'll notice in my temple, I've got some level 1 rooms, some level 2 rooms, and 1 level 3 room. Level 3 rooms are pretty hard to make, so you'll usually only have 1 or 2 in your temple to have, but some of them are particularly strong. I don't have them right now, but I encourage you to do some research on your own after this video. But the 2 particular ones are Corruption Chamber is very strong, which lets you double corrupt an item at level 3, and Sacrificial Chamber, which lets you sacrifice a unique to create another unique or something. So I'll fire up the map now, and all you have to do is click Open Temple. Oh, and one more note is you can click that anywhere. You can invite Alva into your hideout and do it anytime you want, or you can do it in the map where you completed the temple. It's no big deal. Either way you can do it. All right, so I've entered the temple map now. There will always be sort of this field open area that doesn't really matter before you get into the temple. One thing I'll mention though is that if you did open the temple inside your hideout, the portals spawn at your map device, not at Alva. So just be aware of that in case you open it and you're wondering where the portals are. But we've entered the portal now, and if I open the map, and I can do that by clicking this button down here or pressing V, and you can see I'm right here at the entrance now. It tells you where you are in the map and what you can get to. So if I go right here, I can get to the room on the right, which is what I'm going to do real quickly here. And you can see there's always some traps before the doors, and the door has opened now to the other room. Because I have that connection made. If there was no connection here, that door will not open, and you cannot pass it. So I'm in the second room now, and once I kill a monster, I'll show you on the map real quick. So I'm in the Omnitech reactor plant now. What it does is gives monsters in the temple lightning damage and augments the Omnitech, which is the boss at the top, with lightning. It didn't do anything good. If I hit tier 3, it would have done something good. But in this case, it hasn't. And so there's not much going on in this room other than monsters. You'll find once you get more experienced with running the temple, you're really not going to hit up all the rooms. You're really just going to go to the rooms you care about, which might, in all honesty, once you're more experienced,
I can't do this just
1,
yet.
2, maybe 3 rooms that you're interested that you're going to go to. So I'm at the apex now of the temple. I can go into the arena and fight the final boss, who is the architect. All right, so I've killed the boss now, and the boss will usually drop a few rare items that have incursion-only modifiers on them, which I'll show you back at the hideout. All right, so I'm just going to show you one of the rares that dropped from the boss in the temple now, and that's the staff here. Basically, the Incursion League introduced a set of incursion-specific modifiers that can roll on rare items. It's a little hard to tell when an item has one because unlike the Conquerors and the Elder and the Shaper, which have an influence on the item, these are mods that are on the item that don't give the item an influence. But if you are running the Never Sink loot filter, it does show up kind of special when these drop as a blue beam, so those are recognizable that way. But also when you look at the item itself, in this case, the staff, the top prefix, the Tassatis, is the temple modifier on this particular item, which gives the 105, 110 spell damage and gain 5 non-chaos damage as extra chaos damage. And so some of these temple modifiers are actually quite strong, and if you get a good one, can start as a good base item for crafting if you want those mods. But other than that, there's some incursion specific uniques as well that can drop, and that's about it when it comes to loot from incursions. All right, everybody, that should be everything you need to know to at least get started with the Incursion League mechanic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I also stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Times are in the description below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.